Joe, I'd love to get your thoughts on the question. Jesse set a pretty high bar for us, and you're of course charged at Graham with, in part bringing that expectation to life and working with the portfolio company management teams. Would love to get your thoughts on what good looks like from you and Graham's perspective.
Yeah, sure. So I think the way I would kind of, capture this question is, essentially having our, CFO professionals, merely kind of keep score, meaning, producing good financials and consistent financials. I mean, that's table stakes, right? I mean, that's kind of par for the course, right? And the way we like to think about it is, really kind of bringing in CFOs that, on the continuum between reactive versus proactive versus predictive. I think that's a really good way to grade a CFO, right? I mean, we've seen, CFOs that are kind of more on that reactive end, which, they can produce good information, but obviously it's, kind of backwards looking information, maybe not very good at forecasting for X, Y, or Z reasons, and really kind of getting ahead of, potential issues or opportunities. That's not even really on their radar screen, right? So I think that's kind of more in the reactive camp. Then you kind of start moving to the proactive area, right? Which is kind of the sweet spot where you see a lot of, I think good CFOs, right? Kind of being able to produce, good forecasts, have a very good view on cash flow management, obviously being, proactive, working with CEOs, VPs of finance, chief commercial officers, and really being a partner. I think that's kind of what you get kind of in that middle spectrum. And then if you kind of go to the far end of the continuum where you get, CFOs that are just top-notch performers, really are kind of more in that predictive category, right? Where, they're doing everything that I just mentioned, but then they're kind of taking it the next step further where, they're leveraging, kind of, BI tools, right? Whether it's, Microsoft Power BI or Tableau or whatever else, where, they're kind of, also kind of the referee as well, kind of, I think that's also an important aspect of being a really good CFO. And, obviously the communication piece that Jesse mentioned is critical as well, right? I mean, obviously being able to communicate, downstream within the organization, then obviously up as well, to the owners as well, whether it's, private equity owners, and lenders and other constituents, and really being able to have, kind of their finger on the pulse, at all times, across, kind of every business, the key business matters across an organization. I think really kind of what puts, kind of the gold star CFOs, kind of in that, area. So that's the way I kind of like to look at it is, in that kind of spectrum, and it can be very wide, and a lot of different aspects would kind of go into that grading scale. But, the ones that really are, really getting ahead of, potential opportunities or issues, and really kind of having a good forward visibility, going out, 3, 6, 9 months, and being able to communicate that effectively, both internally and then to external constituents. I mean, those are, in my view, very, very, powerful CFOs.
No, that's great, Joe. I appreciate you sort of laying out that continuum of reactive, proactive, and predictive. We'll come back to that in a little bit when we talk about data and automation.